Being able to ask someone for money is a skill, and luckily, it's a learnable skill. Begging for money can be an uncomfortable situation, but if you absolutely need to ask, then it's important that you learn how to. Over the years, a lot of people have asked me for money one way or the other, and there's some people I can't say no to, and there are the other people that I always say no to. So I had to study the very compelling ways that some of these successful people who ask for money do it. And that is what I'll be teaching you guys today. Because at the end of this, you're going to learn undeniable begging skills. And really, no one is going to be able to tell you no. So here are some steps you must follow to successfully ask your friends and even family members for money on WhatsApp. First thing you must do is write down a list of people that you know you might be able to ask for money if need be. It could be just three persons, but it has to be people who, of course, are well to do and who are perceived as generous. Once you're done with that, then you progress to step two. Step two, check up on these people regularly. I mean, one of the most annoying things that someone can do is chat you up on WhatsApp, asking you for money for any reason. I don't care if you have cancer, for any reason. When you have not been checking up on this person, you didn't wish this person Merry Christmas, you skipped all his birthdays or her birthdays, and now you need money and you are in their DMs. Come on, man. So make sure you are always checking up on these people. All right, so that's pre-begging, right? Now on the day when you actually need to ask, there are ways to approach it. Rule number one is go straight to the point. Honestly, go straight to the point. You know, I've seen people, you want to ask someone for money and then you go to the person's DM and you're like, hi, how are you doing now? Long time. Did you see how Chelsea beats Manchester United? You know, they dealt with them more. Yeah, so, yeah, so where have you been and all that stuff? No, 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 no. You see, when you start saying those kind of things, then the body starts to feel excited. The person who you're chatting with, the body starts excreting chemicals that makes that person's mind and makes that person kind of excited. You know, the conversation is positive and all that. So when you put that person in that kind of mood, only to switch to begging, it's going to kind of cause a kind of brain freeze, like from a fun conversation to I need money. It's a terrible idea. Go straight to the point. So you wanna be very, very sincere about your messaging. Don't say things like, bro, there's something I want to ask you. That messes things up. Honestly, if I see that kind of message, I'm not gonna open that message till maybe 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. in the night. The brain will automatically trigger avoidance once you say things like that. It's the same thing like maybe your girlfriend telling you, we need to talk. Even if you wanted to talk with her, even if you were planning to talk with her, you are going to cancel that that plan because and you're going to start avoiding conversations with that person, with your girlfriend, right? Because you say we need to talk. Another example, maybe you're in class and then your professor says, can you meet me in my office? Automatically the things that come to your mind are negative, and then it creates this sense of avoidance. You feel very uncomfortable immediately and just wish that that conversation should never happen. So that is why you should never tell someone, bro, can I ask you for something or can I tell you something before you ask for a favor. Instead, start by being very clear and very upfront about what you need. Okay, so let's imagine it was your house rent that you were trying to pay. They've given you a quick notice. They've told you if you do not pay by the next day, you're going to be kicked out, right? This is what you say to the person. Hey man, I hope you're fine. A landlord has given me an ultimatum to either pay rent today or leave his property. I'm struggling to come up with the full amount right now. So you notice how I started, right? I first explain my situation. It's very, very important to explain your situation. The way the human minds are is we connect to stories, okay? If you want to get someone's attention, turn your request, turn whatever it is into a story. And when you start explaining your situation in detail, the person is drawn to your story and would have a higher chance of even reading your request. So the next step is to make sure that you acknowledge that this favor is big, right? You know, one thing about some people who ask for money from others is they make it look like, okay, because that person is rich, This thing I'm asking for is small money. After all, the person is a multi-millionaire. I'm only asking for 10K, right? No, never make it feel that way. Okay, you want to make it feel, no matter how rich or wealthy that person is, you want to make it feel like, if this person does this thing for you, this person gives you this money, the person is doing you a huge favor, right? So you want to say something like, I understand that this is a big favor to ask, and I would also understand if you cannot help me. So what I've done there is I have made the person feel like the person is doing a big favor, even though it might be a small thing to that person. And I've ensured that that person is not going to feel obligated to help me. Okay. I mean, yes, I know sometimes when you ask for this money, you want to put pressure and pressure, but I tell you, don't make the person obligated. Just always make sure you let the person know that, see, if you can't help me, I understand. I understand. And then finally, you can now ask for your favor. So you can be like, I would appreciate it if you could help me with 50,000 naira to add to the 150K that I had saved over the months. It is almost impossible at this point for the person not to help you. It's really important to start from the step of explaining yourself and telling this story before you finally request at the end. Okay, because honestly, if I saw a message and on WhatsApp, you can preview some messages, and the first thing you saw was a request. There's a good chance that I'm just gonna leave the message unread. So, but if I see a story, I wanna read that story. So when the person previews a message on WhatsApp, what the person is going to see is your story, and then your request can come last. Okay, it's a trick that we learn even in business, right? So if someone asks you for price, you don't just throw the price at them. You tell them a story, you ask them questions back, okay? And then you try to connect with them, make them understand the value of what you're selling, and then you can now give them the price. It's exactly the same thing. You see, the brain works the same way in almost every situation. Now, if the person doesn't reply immediately, do not bug the person. Do not bug the person. I mean, if this person is successful, there's a good chance that this person doesn't have the kind of time that you have, right? So this person might actually be busy. Some people feel, okay, I wrote this message 3 hours ago, he hasn't replied. That means he's not willing to help me, right? You don't want that to happen. Also, you don't want to come off as being entitled. The worst people to help are the entitled people. Okay, and I've seen it happen so many times. You're begging someone for money and you're making it look like it is that person's responsibility to give you that money. Is it your money? Did you follow the person to work for the money? If you need help from someone, then you have to be humble. Okay, you have to be respectful and understand that it is not your money. So whether or not the person gives you the money, you have to still thank the person. So if you ask someone for money and the person says no, say, I understand and I thank you for even considering my request. That's how you end it. You don't get angry because someone did not give you money. Yes, this method is almost guaranteed to work. But if it doesn't, you still thank the person. I know I've told you a lot, but this is not guaranteed if you decide to go and ask or beg someone for money in the month of January. I did a video called Stop Billing People in the Month of January. What this means is you got to understand if this person has spent a lot of money recently. The worst thing, the most annoying thing to me is when someone understands that, yeah, I just bought a car, or I just bought a house, or I just buried my mother, or I just did anything at all. And the person still asks me for money, still comes to beg for money. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. You are aware that this person has just come back from vacation, right? So he spent a lot. Is that the best time to come and beg for money? Hell no. So whatever you do, make sure that you plan your life in a way that you do not have crucial needs in a season when you know people usually spend a lot. Somewhere in the US, people spend a lot in the summers. People spend a lot during Christmas, right? So you want to make sure that you are not asking people for money in the summers, especially if you know these people are going on vacations and stuff. And you want to make sure that you're not asking people for money after Christmas, because during this time people are trying to recover from all the big spendings they made, during the festive season. People are also trying to pay school fees for their kids to get back to school and so many other things. So you want to make sure that your timing is perfect. Timing is everything when it comes to begging successfully. Timing is everything. You can say the right things and follow all these steps, but if you do it at the wrong time, it is surely going to fail. So you want to also make sure that's why it's important to keep in touch with these people. That's why it's important to make sure that you're not just coming out of the blues and asking them for money, right? Stay in their lives. Make sure that you check up on them so that you know a little bit of what they are doing, right? If you don't, then you're not going to know whether the person has just done something that has taken a huge chunk of his money already, and you're going to come and ask, and honestly it could actually annoy the person. If you are getting a loan, it's a different thing, right? If you're getting a loan from the person, make sure at the end of your message you write how you're going to pay back. It is very important. Now, sometimes people ask me for loans, and the first thing I ask myself is, this person that is asking for this money doesn't have a good job. How is this person going to pay me back? So if you're able to outline, the payback method, you give the person the time. Okay, you know what? I'm going to pay back in 2 weeks. This is how I'm going to pay back. You have to tell the person how you are going to pay back, not just that you're going to pay back, but how you are going to pay back. And you have to really be honest about it. You have to be very sincere about your payback plan. So yeah, that's how to beg on WhatsApp, on social media, especially if you are not with the person, if you're not seeing the person. It's important that you follow these steps. Otherwise, you might not be successful. Remember that begging on WhatsApp is different from begging in real life. You have just one shot. In real life, you can re-explain yourself and re-explain yourself. On WhatsApp, you have just one shot. On WhatsApp or other social media platforms, if the person says no, that's the end of it. In real life, the person says no, you can still come back and compare and say, okay, how about this? How about that? This is. But on WhatsApp, if the person says no, it's over. You have only one shot. You have to make sure that you take that shot and you score it. If you have learned anything from this video, please make sure you subscribe to our channel, you follow our page, like this video, and share it with your friends. Okay, maybe should you share it with your friends? I don't know. If you want to teach your friends how to beg you, then share it with your friends a little bit. And if you are the person that is most likely to beg, then hey, you're welcome.